We're back with another review of the Armies of Middle-earth book, this time with the evil armies.
Yes, some initial reactions to see what we think. Now it's finally here.
Yes, we were lucky enough to get our hands on these a few days early. If you missed part one of this where we covered all the good lists, then be sure to check that out first.
Yep.
Although I suppose you don't have to, you can start with evil.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Depends what you collect.
I will put it out there, this is our first time looking at these profiles and these lists, so this is essentially a reaction video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We saved it for the camera just to see how they appear.
Yes.
And then we said the other one, we'll do like tier lists and stuff in the future once everything's kind of been settling down a bit.
Yeah, there were comments on the last video saying like, that was slow to watch because you guys don't know the profiles.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what happens when you look at them for the first time. Anyway, where do we start, James?
We start with Mordor.
Mordor.
The lands of Mordor. Again, with the cool art.
Yes, if
Big
you
fan.
haven't seen these, there's really cool custom artwork with like weapons and banners and
Yeah.
all the sort of good stuff, shields. It's really cool. It feels like there's a lot more siege weapons in this edition. I don't think there is.
Yeah, it's because they kind of all have been saved for this book.
Yeah.
It's like there was nothing to start with, really. That's why the Eagles were like so overpowered almost, because
Yeah.
there wasn't a lot that could take them down very easily. Where now it's like suddenly everyone's going, okay, cool, we got siege weapons, we got ballistas, let's just get them all out there. We got catapults.
Catapults. So Mordor Siege Bow, 50 points. Again, not something we used a lot of in the last edition, so very hard to compare and how this has changed.
I mean, I feel like taking the flaming ammunition is always a want to take with that for 10 points.
Yeah, for sure.
Re-rolling any failed to wound rolls against a siege target, I guess, but it could be big if you're doing any kind of siege scenario.
True. It also has direct shot and piercing shot.
Yep.
Very, very useful. We'll move on to the stuff that's probably more commonly played.
Yep, I mean, well, we got the Shamans, Black Numenorians, who have come back in Martial, Knights, and Warrior profiles.
And I will point out that the addition of is it Legions of Middle-earth in the back of this book?
Yeah.
They basically update the list from the other two books and add in these profiles to some of those lists. So
Yes.
things like Black Numenorians are now available in multiple lists, which is really, really cool.
Yes.
As they're pretty cool characters, let's be honest.
Yes, I've actually seen that Black Numenorians are a good comparison against Dol Amroth in terms of what they do and how maybe,
Yeah,
yeah.
it makes sense.
But basically, they're about the same, but Black Numenorians get terror,
Oh,
which makes
do
the
they?
Knights seem a little more...
They do
Yeah.
have terror. They also have Visage of Terror, which is if an enemy model attempts to charge this model and fails its courage test as a result of the terror special rule, then that activation will immediately end rather than not being able to move that turn. Models affected by this special rule cannot shoot in the shoot phase and cannot move in the fight phase if part of a successful heroic combat, but may otherwise act normally in those phases. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, like extra terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. So they should have called it ultra terrifying. I don't know. Well, that was short. Isengard.
Yes.
I like seeing the shamans back because they're
Yeah.
something that obviously is pretty much synonymous, not synonymous, but exclusive to Games
Yeah.
Workshop.
Although,
and the SPG.
if anyone says Uruk-hai Shaman, that is not the model I think of.
No, what is that? That's not the Uruk-hai Shaman. I don't think you guys can really see that. What am I doing? Top page?
Yeah.
Top of the page? Yeah.
It's definitely like the... he's almost like a voodoo shaman more, where he's got the two hands up. That's the one I picture.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I don't think I've ever seen that model, you know.
No, it must be part of some like captain set or something. But also, Isengard trolls are back, which I think have been added to most Isengard related lists.
I think every
Yeah.
single Isengard list.
I just, even with the buff to monsters, I still think for 100 points, it's a bit much.
Well, we're looking fight 7, strength 7, defense 8, 3 attacks, 4 wounds, 6 plus courage. Yeah, they're not incredible, but they do have dominant 3, terror, and throne stones.
Yeah, it's just, okay, 100 points. If you're doing Isengard, you could take, what, 7 Berserkers?
Yes, actually, you can take these in the Assault on Helm's Deep list,
Yes.
which is kind of weird.
Yeah, like, I don't know if, like, it's the 9 Uruk-hai warriors, 6, 7 Berserkers, or 1 Troll. Unless you're going very high points, it's still that struggle to take them at those kind of point values.
Yeah, I think I would probably prefer to take a captain and a couple of warriors.
Yeah.
Like if there's a small point hero that has strike, I'd rather take that and some warriors than this.
Yeah, that is
That's
true.
just me,
I mean,
though.
Dominant 3 is obviously a very handy thing. It's just, like on the channel, I definitely want to use one.
Oh yeah,
But again,
for sure.
it's like we say, like if you were going to go and try and win a tournament, I don't think you're taking a troll into this. But at least they're an option.
True. We then have the Isengard Orc Shaman, 50 points, fight 3, strength 3, defense 5, 1 attack, 2 wounds, 1/3/1. With 3 powers, Fury, Isengard Orc, Enrage Beast, and Transfix. I don't see a lot of people taking that.
No,
And again, I'm so like non-magical.
Yeah, I just think it's
Not in
because...
life, just in this game.
But the thing is, though, realistically, you're taking that in either the White Hand list or the Isengard list, which...
Master of Isengard?
Yeah. Obviously, on the spot, I would forget that. Which you have to have Saruman in both of those. So
True.
I don't feel like the Shaman's going to get much use in those. Obviously, there's the Wolf Pack of Isengard, which it might be more of one to use on, but yeah, I think it's very...
Yeah. Speaking of Saruman, we get some cool imagery here of essentially
the list that no one will ever play.
yes,
Ever.
which includes Sharkey and Worm,
Yep.
who both they pretty much suck. I've never seen anyone have either of these models, let alone use them in a tournament, you know?
No, I do just love the idea that Sharkey is Hatred Hobbit, as though he needs extra hatred to kill hobbits of all the models.
Yeah, but he only has 1 attack. He's fight 4, defense 4, 2 wounds, 1 fate. Like he just... No, doesn't work. And then Worm is fight 3, strength 3, defense 3, 1 attack, 1 wound, 0, 0, 0.
Yeah.
They have some special rules, but I don't see anybody taking those.
No, it's kind of like, it's almost like, obviously it's got to be the equivalent of the Hobbit list for evil, for the thematic reasons.
Yeah.
But the Hobbits are just kind of cooler, at least in my opinion.
There's some fun like thematic special rules with them. Like Bill Fernie, for example, has put him in chains as a special rule. And if he wins a combat, instead of making strikes, he may choose a single Hobbit model that they were engaged in combat with and roll a d6. If the score is higher than the chosen model's strength, then the chosen model is put in chains and suffers the effects of the paralyzed magical power. However, the effects will not immediately end should this model have no will points or be slain. Oof, words be bad today.
Yeah, it's cool. It's just because it's a specific Hobbit one. That's what makes you go, it's just not very viable elsewhere then, is it? So yeah.
Now, I may eat my words because going through the good list, spoilers if you haven't seen it, we talked about the Hobbit list, the Shire models, and basically saying that they're not really viable competitively. And that was probably the biggest thing in the comments. People were like, you're wrong! I will prove you wrong,
Well, the thing
Matt King.
I am happy to prove myself wrong with that because I want them to be competitive.
Yeah, and like I replied to all the comments saying, if you're not underestimating hobbits, they're not hobbits. You know, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yep.
I guess.
So yeah. Just more ruffians, just the kind of...
Yeah. Ted Sandyman.
Yeah, but then we can move on to something a little more interesting.
The Misty Mountains.
Yes.
Before we go on to the Misty Mountains, there's one thing I do want to point out.
Okay.
Really, really happy to say we have got our Baron of Dice channel dice. So if you've been following the channel for a while, you'll know that we did actually have some a while ago. And I'm not sure how well this picks up on camera, but this is how the dice came. They came kind of navy and peach and very, very glossy, where obviously we ordered orange and navy, which is our colours, and we ordered matte. So there is a huge, huge difference between these. I can't tell if you can see, but trust me, these dice are lovely. And if you want to get a set, you can get them on baronofdice.com. We get a kickback as well, so it does support the channel. And you can get a discount code, link in the description.
Yep.
I think it's TTA5.
Yep.
Cool. On we go.
Yes. To the Misty Mountains. And Durbers is back.
Woohoo.
He's like one of the OG heroes. I remember from like the very beginning of when we kind of started. He was just something different for goblins because goblins were so big at the beginning.
I feel like, and I may be wrong here, it feels like he was one of the earlier kind of custom heroes.
Yeah.
Which is, I have very fond memories of Durbers.
Yeah. Like, he's not bad. His stand fast is 12 inches. And his callous leadership is quite interesting as well. So it's once per game at the start of any fight phase before the declare heroic action step, Durbers can declare he is using this ability. Till the end phase of this turn, friendly goblin models within 6 of him gain a bonus of +1 to wound when making strikes. However, any other friendly goblin model within 6 inches that loses a duel roll, not including supporting models, must roll a d6 after any strikes have been made against them. On a roll of a 1, they suffer a wound. So basically, go hard or go home. That is the way he's going.
His stats are okay too. Fight 4, I mean this is for goblins. Strength 4, defense 6, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 3/2/2. He's not bad, and he has defense, resolve, and strike. So,
yep,
yeah, definitely a useful model at only 75 points.
Yeah, I'll be very curious to see if obviously when we get onto the actual lists part today, whether this Moria will have any competition with the depths of Moria, or whether people still go, you may as well still just run that, even if you're not going to take the battle log.
And if you can take Durbers with Depths of Moria?
I haven't looked if they've been added in or not yet.
The next model then is the Druzag, the Beast Caller. This is a model that I always look at and think, that's going to fall over a lot.
Yes. You know? Yeah, definitely.
And I think, is this still a metal model?
Ooh.
Or did they resin it?
It just looks metal to me.
Yeah, it does, yeah. Anyway, one of those models I don't see played that often. It's 80 points, so he's more expensive than Durbers. Fight 3, strength 3, defense 4, 1 attack, 2 wounds, 2/5/2. Has Cave Dweller, Master of the Dark Wild, which is friendly beast models within 12 may use his courage or intelligence values instead of their own when making a courage test or intelligence test. Additionally, when he suffers a wound before any fate rolls are made, roll a d6, and on a 2+, he may choose a single friendly beast model within 2 inches to immediately suffer the wound instead of him.
Nice.
Pretty cool. Pretty selfish.
Yeah. Don't know how much you really want to do that to your beasts, but yeah.
I assume it's kind of made to target the bat swarms.
Potentially, yeah.
Which are 35 points and useless.
They're not useless.
They're fight 1.
Yeah, but it's the fact they can half the fight value of what they're in with.
Yeah.
It's like obviously one-on-one, very useless.
I'm very much joking. Bat swarms, when used properly, are insane. I've only had experience using them once and it did not go well.
Yeah.
At all. So I have like a negative connection to them. But yeah, I mean, they have 2 attacks, 4 wounds. And yeah, I mean, like I say, used well, very cool.
Yeah.
And because they're 4 wounds, putting them near Durzag and using that, very effective.
Yes. Moving on, Shaman, like many of these lists have gotten now, so don't need to say too much about that. But one thing that has come back, in my head, this was going into Legacy, were the Prowlers. I thought they were gone, but it turns out they're not. So that must have just been, because I know they got rid of like the, what were the other goblins?
And there's multiple things on the thing.
Yeah, you get multiple on the warg.
Yeah, what are they called?
Yeah, obviously on the spot, all these names disappear out your head. But yeah, it's nice to see Prowlers just because it offers a bit of variety, again, which sometimes these lists, especially evil ones, they lack, especially Horde ones.
Especially the last 6 months they have, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just nice to have something different. Probably going to be the case of, you still just take warriors. Maybe a few of these, but not many. And with that, you also get drums, because drums are always linked with Moria.
What is actually the appeal of Prowlers over regular goblins?
So they got Backstabbers and Stalk and Scene.
That's the only difference?
They're two-handed and have throwing weapons. So it is a bit different. Like you get your throwing weapons.
Profile-wise, like stat line-wise?
Stat line, I think, are pretty much the same.
Shoot value 4+. Okay, so they...
I mean, they can't have... Oh, well, yeah, on the throwing weapons, 4+, yeah, of course.
I think they could be quite useful. We don't have any of those models.
No, we actually don't.
Time to get some. Moria?
Yeah.
I almost said Mordor. Moria Goblin Drum.
Which I don't believe there's been any real changes to.
No.
Can't wait for comments to tell me I'm wrong.
We then have Dragon and Cave Drake. For some reason I feel like we've covered this, but we haven't.
We briefly talked about them on the podcast.
Ah, okay.
But then also saying we were going into more detail today.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Because we knew they were in here.
Yeah. Now, dragons. Something I really, really, really want to love.
Yeah.
And I really, really, really don't.
I definitely think they're the thing I would get really, really excited for. And then when we actually come to use them, it's like, ah.
Yeah. Cave Drakes appeal to me way more.
I know, but they're not dragons. That's the issue.
Especially the dragon pictured here, which is red. Like the Welsh dragon.
Yeah. So, okay, to go through them, movement 6. Except they can fly, so may not matter for that. Fight value of 8, shoot value of 2+, strength 7, defense 7, 4 attacks, 7 wounds, courage 6+, intelligence 5+, 3/3, might roll fate, However, they do have the 5 optional upgrades, of which you can take up to 2. Each of these are 50 points. One is Breathe Fire, or Fly, or Superior Intellect, or Tough Hide, or Worm Magic.
They sound like a dream. 200 points plus your upgrades, probably taking 2, 300 points, very good stat line. Yeah, they sound like a must-take. However, you then look at the special rules and they have Survival Instinct.
Yes.
Now, when looking into that rule, and I don't have the rule book in front of me, I don't think, it's essentially, off the top of my head, when they take a wound, they have to take a courage test?
Yeah, basically, yeah. They take a courage test when wounded, and if they fail it, they run away.
Is it definitely that? Because that's so bad.
Unless they've changed the wording, maybe. But that's, I'm like 90% sure now. Again, the second we're put on the spot, my surety just goes from like 99 down to like 10.
All right, I'll read it.
Yeah.
Every time a model with this special rule suffers a wound that is not prevented, it must take a courage test. If the courage test has failed, the model flees and is removed as a casualty.
Yeah. So, if this goes anything like the recent tournament we had, I, more than once in the day, failed 3 fate rolls in a row.
Yeah.
So that's a wound taken. Great, okay, courage. Think big, scary dragons. They're going to have good courage. 6+, that's a 50-50 chance on 2 dice.
Yeah, and you come up against anything that's got any sort of -1 courage rules, like Harbinger of Evil. Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, so...
How do you say that word? Harbinger? Harbinger? Harbinger. Harbinger of Evil, yeah.
I don't know.
I'm one of those days where my head is just like doubting words.
Yeah, but it's like... You could, if they had more will, maybe, you would go, okay, their courage isn't the best, but you've always got a lot of will backed up to kind of affect those rolls. Or maybe you roll Snake Eyes, it just doesn't matter.
They do have, like, Worm Magic is essentially a free will point every turn.
Yeah.
It doesn't stack, like it goes after that turn.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, yeah, you've still got to roll a minimum of 5.
And the thing is, though, if you're taking that, you're also kind of probably looking to use the magical powers it gains by having that, because they can only use it if you take that ability.
Yeah.
So again, it's, okay, you use a free will to do some magic, and then you don't risk your normal will because of courage tests. I know there's going to be people who, they'll have a great day, go to a tournament, and probably annihilate with one.
Yeah.
But I think there'll be a lot more people who might take them, and they run away with at least half their wounds remaining.
Yeah, and you guarantee if that loses a wound from elf shooting in turn 1 and flees, you've lost the game. If you've just sunk 300 points of your army into a dragon, yeah. So while I love the idea of them, not great. Though I would definitely be taking Worm Magic and Tough Hide, 50 points each. You increase the wounds and defense to 9, which obviously makes wounding it significantly harder.
See, that's quite funny, because my 2, I would feel like I'll go to first, are Fly and Breathe Fire.
Yeah? To be honest, I would probably want all 4 of those. But
yeah, like I feel like, because they only can move 6 normally, without Fly, I feel like that's really restrictive. Especially
but do you want to run away with him without the rest of your army, or do you want to keep them together?
No, but it's more he can almost hide and come out. But also it's Breathing Fire. So a dragon breathe fire as a shooting attack during the shoot phase. Treat this as a bow with a range of 12 inches. If the shot hits, then the model that is hit and all models, friendly or foe, within 2 inches of the hit model will suffer a strength 10 hit. Any model that suffers a wound from the shooting attack which is not prevented is automatically slain. I think that's just like, they are kind of glass cannon, I guess. I think it's almost a case you go, okay, let's just try and kill as much as I can before it runs away and hope there's some stuff left over afterwards.
Yeah.
But even with the 2 upgrades, you also got to think, that's 300 points. Balrog, 350.
Don't talk to me about a Balrog, James.
But which would you prefer? 50 more points for a Balrog or 50 less points for one of these?
Right now, I'd go one of these. I've had some very bad experiences with Balrogs.
Yeah.
Screw you, Balrogs.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess your other options is you just heroic defense with it all the time and hope for natural 6s and use your might that way. But yeah, we'll definitely still be having a go with these in a battle. It might just end up being a 5-minute battle if things don't go right.
Yeah.
But let's compare them to the Cave Drake.
Yeah, we have Cave Drakes, which are 150 points.
Yes.
With no additional add-ons. Their stat line then is Fight 7.
Yep.
Strength 7. Defense 7. 4 attacks, 6 wounds. So only a little bit worse than the dragon, really.
Yeah.
1 less fight. same strength, same defense, same attacks, 1 less wound. Same courage, and then only 1/3/1 might will fate.
Yeah.
However, special rules, it has Cave Dweller, Dominant 4, large target, monstrous charge, Mountain Dweller, resistant to magic, terror, and woodland creature. Then, special rules, which I like the special rules on this. At the beginning of the game, after both sides are deployed, place a 25 nest marker anywhere on the board. Whilst within 3 inches of a friendly nest marker, a cave drake has Fearless.
Yep.
I feel like dragons should have something like that.
Yeah, I think, and we'll get to it in a minute, I think there's something in the army rules for the dragons one about gold.
Is there?
This may be,
This is news to me.
We may get 10 minutes into this now and realise I'm mixing up with something else. But I swear there's something to do with gold and recording kills and those do something. But again, yeah, initial reactions I can't.
Yeah.
I've heard odd things, but I've tried not to spoil too much.
Okay, the other rules then are Cornered Beast. If a cave drake loses a duel roll and is trapped, after any strikes have been made against it, the cave drake will lash out. When a cave drake lashes out, any models, friend or foe, that were engaged in combat with it or are within 1 inch of it immediately suffer a strength 4 hit. So that can be pretty cool. Instead of making strikes, this is a different rule keeping more, a cave drake may choose a single enemy model on a 25 base that was involved in the same combat and roll a d6. On a 2+, the chosen model suffers a wound, and if this wound is not prevented, the model is swallowed whole and removed as a casualty. If the cave drake slays a model with this brutal power attack, they may immediately regain a wound lost earlier in the battle.
I think that's amazing.
I think that's fantastic.
The fact that dragons don't have any kind of brutal power attack when it's a dragon, I feel like is a missed thing.
Does it not just have normal ones?
Well, yeah, but like there's quite a few that got like specific brutal power attacks. A cave drake has one. I find it weird that the dragon doesn't have something for it.
Yeah, true.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, Gaping Maw, that's like one of the coolest ones in my opinion.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and
really cool.
Certain, like that's coming up against dwarves. Okay, who cares about your D9 heroes, your D8 warriors, or whatever, like 2+.
Yeah.
I eat your whole.
Yeah. I have to point out as well that the cave drake we have is a proxy model we got from Forgemaster miniatures.
Yeah.
And it is not only one of the coolest models we own, but one of the favorite, or my favorite paint jobs I've ever done as well. So
yeah.
I definitely want to use that on the channel again, because last time we did not do it justice.
No, we did not.
Check out Forgemaster Minis with the code TTA. I think I've mixed up the codes here. I think Baron Dice is TTA. I don't know.
They're in the description.
They're in the description. Use the description, guys. God.
Stop listening and read.
Fallen Realms.
Ooh. Gulavar, the Terror of Arnor.
So another expensive monster, essentially.
Yeah, some of these we will have already had from the previous stuff.
Oh yeah, this is like Birder, Hill Troll.
Yeah, kind of like in the last video where all the Arnor Angmar stuff we kind of skipped over because it was PDF'd.
Yeah.
Although, because we don't have it and haven't used it, in my head I cannot think if Gulavar is one of them or if this is...
Yeah, he was involved in that.
He
Shadow
was.
Rudawa, Nazdak, or Captain.
Cool.
Shade, Barrow White, Angmar, or Captain. Yeah, all these...
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all pretty much...
Oh, the werewolves. We were talking earlier, like, I really want to do another battle with werewolves, but do like a big werewolf type army, not just a couple.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Okay, cool. Then we move on to a bit of
Aldrak Freight.
Doom, which again is another one that I feel like if we have more of, I would happily use a bit more.
Now,
sort of enough.
Here we go. Fallen Realms.
Okay.
Get into the stuff that I'm quite into, and that's Easterling stuff, starting with the Dragon Emperor of Rune.
Yes.
A model that we've only ever used once, but kind of wrong.
We did at the time, yes, but we did it in a custom scenario type situation.
Yeah, it was intentional, yeah. But we used it without the chariot thing, or throne, whatever it's called. But he's 200 points. But what a model this is. So, Fight 7.
2 pages of things.
Fight 7, Strength 4, Defense 7, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, 4 plus Courage, 3, 3, 3. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, including the Palanquin, 5, 6, 7, 8 special rules. It's a lot of special rules, James.
Yeah.
I don't want to read all these right now.
I mean, most of these I think have come over.
Yeah?
I don't think there's going to be something probably different in there. But again, we never use this to really know for sure. But I think the main thing is it's still something you want to take. So obviously when it was first released, it was like ridiculous. Then they upped its points, which kind of made it still very good, but you know, a bit fairer. And I think it's still kind of at that level. Like it's really good, but you do sink a lot of points into it.
We don't have one though, you know?
No.
It sucks.
Because they're what, like £500?
Yeah.
So yeah.
What do we have next? Amdur, Lord of Blades. Now this is a model we actually used in a battle report this week, which is coming out in like 2-3 days.
Well, I don't know when this is going out, so
soon.
Sometime around this time.
Yes. Amdur, Lord of Blades is an awesome hero. For only 135 points, you're getting quite a similar stat line. Fight 7, Strength 4, D6, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, 3-3-1. And then he has Dirters, the Silver Falchion, I don't know. It's a unique elven hand-and-a-half weapon. And when making a strike against a hero model, he never needs more than a 5+, regardless of the hero's defense, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool. So, Durin, taking you down on a 5+. I love it. He has General Hunter, Unyielding Combat Stance, the Gleaming Horde, Herald of Victory, and Lord of Blades. So, quite a versatile hero right there. Yeah.
He seems really good to me.
Yeah. But does he do well in this week's battle? Tune in on Friday to find out.
Okay, with that, we then have Rutabi. I doubt it's Rutabi, but he's now Rutabi.
Rutabi.
Yeah, who's, again, 120-point hero, but does have some good stats. Like, it's a fight 6, strength 4, D7, 3-3 attacks and wounds. Like, it's not bad. Also getting striker at fight 6, handy, but master battle 3+.
Yeah.
Like, heroes that have that, I think, is a very, very good thing.
Also re-rolls wound rolls against a trap model.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
Yep. Like, all in all, I think it's just nice that there's the variety in Easterling heroes. There's a few good named ones, and there's a few different ways you can take them, which obviously a lot of armies can't. You can't say that for.
Very true. Brogier. Brogier?
Brogier.
I also apologise for my slouching. My back is killing right now. Sitting upright is like making me sweat. 80 points. He's kind of like a really good captain, basically, and obviously can have access to some spells. We then got the Eastland Dragon Knight, who I actually really like. For 70 points is solid. Strength 4, Defense 7, 3 attacks, 2 wounds. No fate, however, but does have a bunch of special rules and obviously can lead the Black Dragon Warriors, which I think is, solid for 70. We've then got the Black Dragon Warriors and Dragon Cult Acolytes, models which I got to use for the first time again this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing you definitely got to say about the Eastlings is the appearance is just incredible.
Oh, the aesthetic is stunning.
They look beautiful. Yeah, I don't think an awful lot has really changed with them specifically. I think it's just nice that they're back.
Yeah, Black Dragon, did they not used to be...
I think it was more of an upgrade before.
Yeah, but what did the upgrade give you before? Wasn't it higher strength or fight value? I can't...
In my head, I got fight value.
Because they only fight 4. So we should have probably had the other old books with us, but never mind. That's the Armies book for this edition.
Oh,
James.
that's this edition. Sorry, I thought that was the old one then for a second.
James was pointing at this book here, but that doesn't help us.
Yeah.
Why did we have the old edition rule book there?
I don't know.
Anyway, moving on, we've got Easterling War Priest, something I've never had any experience with at all.
Nope.
4, 3, 5, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1. What's the Easterling Halberd? That's the pike thing, is it?
Yes, it's the one you can use as a pike or a two-handed.
War Drake of Rune, again, something I got to use this week. I think we have the proxies from Forgemaster for these as well. Big fan of those. And typically, there's the new announcements from GW of these coming soon. Are they out? Have we pre-ordered them? Or are they
No, I don't think
in
they
the
are.
coming months?
Yeah, I think it's soon. Sometime soon.
I feel like War Drakes are very Bjorning.
I think they're better than that.
Yeah, I mean, fight 4, strength 4, defense 5, 2 attacks, 2 wounds.
Yeah, I think it's more like they're dominant 2 for 1, which...
Yeah.
2 for 1?
2 for 1.
Which definitely helps. Terror, which against certain armies comes in very handy.
Yeah.
And I just love the Venom. The Venom thing is just really cool. Like, if you go and wound a hero and they survive, then their fight value and attacks are just reduced by 1. Like, that's
Well,
insane.
it's any model that suffers a wound, not a hero.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But, I mean, normal models, generally, you're killing them, if you know what I mean. But, yeah, like, captains and stuff as well. Like, it's just a case of, yeah, you weaken them for the rest of the battle just by doing some damage to them. I think that's a really cool rule.
Let's move on to some of the Serpent Horde stuff. So we've got Suladan, the Serpent Lord.
Yep.
Again, an army that we have very, very minimal experience with. I think our only real experience is coming up against Mumakils in tournaments.
Yeah.
But this character is fight 5, strength 4, d5, 3, 3, and then 3, 3, 1. He has a banner, which is pretty cool. And it's a unique banner with a range of 6 inches and never suffers the -1. So that's very handy.
Yep.
He also has Ascendant, which is a 12-inch standfast. So, yeah, that's a really good hero, actually, for 120 points.
Yeah.
But I like heroes that kind of double up as banners.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, I think it always makes sense as well.
Well, there's always the argument of how many points, well, how many banners you take per how many points.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So if you've got a 500-point army, how many banners you take? 750, how many banners you take? I think taking a hero like that makes that sort of decision much easier. So look out for those heroes and try and include them when you can. Raza, Fang of the Serpent. No idea who this guy is. Do you?
No, not a clue, to be honest. But, I mean, he looks a little bit squishy, I will be honest. He's only a D5 fight value 4 hero for 75 points. But he does have the Serpent's weapon, so at the beginning of the game, after both sides have deployed, secretly select a single hero model in your opponent's army to be Raza's target. At the start of a combat, where Raza is engaged in combat with his target, after any heroic actions have been resolved, reveal Raza's target. He then gains +2 to his fight value whilst engaged in combat with this target.
I like that.
So we can take him up to a fight 6.
Yeah.
So you're not, like, if you're coming up against some big fight values, there's not really much point. I guess you can still strike, so it gives you a chance to get to a potential 9, but that is a bit risky.
I like him. I think that's a good 75 points. Like, strength 4, defense 5 is okay. And then 3 attacks, 2 wounds, 2, 2, 2. To me, he's like a really good captain.
Yeah, it's the D5 always, like, I want D6. That's what I want.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
Hasharin.
Yeah. This is one of these that this model is not the one I picture with this name. So I find it...
I like the
unusual.
artwork, though.
Yeah. I know, they probably have somewhere in the book. I don't know who the credit for the art in this book goes to.
I don't think they credit anyone, do they?
I honestly have no idea. But yeah.
Doubt it.
I love that style.
Anyway, fight 5. Hitting on 3s, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 3. But he has preternatural agility.
Maybe.
He can never count as being trapped.
Yeah.
So while he's standing, which is very, very useful. I don't know how I feel about him being 80 points, though.
I mean, there's a rule in one of the armies that will come up later.
Okay.
Which is very cool.
I remember this.
Yeah. Yeah, which I'm still not 100% sure it's worth the points. But but we'll get to that when we get to the armies.
Yeah. Moving on. I'm just like really excited to get to the lists.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where we need to start getting to be honest.
Yeah.
Because, we don't want to read out the books.
No.
So it's, then you kind of got some general warriors. So we got guards, riders, Serpent and Haradrim riders, riders and raiders, taskmasters, and then we got some Umbar.
Oh.
Well, slightly more interesting because obviously last edition, a lot of people like to use the alliance matrix to get some Umbar into lists, not necessarily run a fully Umbar one. So now, these guys kind of have to stand on their own 2 feet a bit more. And I'm curious if they
I think competitively, they've always been pretty scary as a sole army. But yeah, they did alliance or ally quite well. Dalamir, Fleet Master of Umbar, Dalgamar, Gate Master of Umbar, and Corsair Crossbowman, which we've got on the way, right?
We do have some, yes. We do indeed. And I think it's the crossbows that make these guys so appealing to me. Because obviously, like, you initially look at them and you go, strength 3, defense 3, hitting on 4s. Okay, crossbows, obviously, best strength kind of shooting. But it's the fact they have their shields that basically gives them D6 when they're not engaged in combat. So they're good at holding back and shooting, not necessarily ones you want to put up, because then they become D3 in combat, which does get squishy.
I think they're great for 10 points.
Yeah, I like it. I do.
I would like to see some kind of upgrade. Because they've basically got their crossbows leaning on a shield, that, to me, really steadies their aim. So I'd like to see some kind of upgrade there for hitting on 3s.
Oh, I don't think you can ever hit it on 3s crossbows.
No, well, yeah, true. But even if it's like 12 points, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the lists.
Okay.
So Army of the Great Eye is the first army, which allows you to include Witch King of Angmar, Ringwraiths, Gothmog, Mouth of Sauron. I mean, it's pretty much all the Mordor stuff.
Yeah, it's just a chance to take a bit of everything, obviously minus Sauron, but like you can still take your Gothmogs, Mouth of Saurons, Guritzes, all the minor ones as well. I think it's just for that evil variety, without, I guess, feeling like you have to take Sauron in one of those kind of lists.
And you also get the Great Eye special rule. Should we look at that?
Yep.
So at the beginning of the game, you place a 25mm Great Eye marker on the battlefield in your deployment zone. At the end of each move phase, you remove the Great Eye marker and roll a d6. On a 2+, you can place it anywhere within 6 inches of where it was. On a 1, Sauron has been distracted and your opponent may place it anywhere within 12 inches of where it was. The Great Eye marker can never be placed so that it overlaps another model's base, though models may finish their move overlapping the Great Eye marker. Friendly models treat the Great Eye as a banner. Enemy models within 3 inches of the Great Eye marker suffer a -1 penalty to courage and intelligence tests. If your opponent's army contains a ring bearer, with the exception of Sauron, then if during the end phase of any turn they are wearing the ring and within 3 of the marker, they must roll a d6, and on a 3+, they succumb to Sauron and are immediately removed as a casualty.
Oh, that'd be so good. You've got like a seal door, and just suddenly you're like, aha, all at one. He's gone. God damn it. I mean, very specific, obviously. There's not that many ring bearers, so yeah.
I like rules like that, like things where you get additional things, but it's also more to think about. And my brain capacity only allows me to think about it. It's small in some areas. But yeah, I don't know. I like it. It's cool. Sharky's Rogues.
Ah, yes. The power list. Yeah, this is just such a thematic one. You want to be doing the Battle of Bywater, or it never gets seen. And to be honest, I don't think many people want to play that.
Although Sharky Stand Fast covers the entire battlefield.
Oh, okay, game changing. And while they're not broken, friendly ruffian models gain +1 to any courage tests. Sure, that's cool. Friendly ruffian models within 6 inches of Sharky may use his courage instead of their own when taking courage tests. Yeah, cool. Sharky gains the Hatred Hobbit special rule.
Did he not already have that? The base model not have that?
I thought he did.
This was like a typo in the... was it Bilbo had something that you already had in one of the lists?
The attacks. They gave him like... Yeah, they said, unless he gets 3 attacks, but his base...
Yeah, he already has Hatred Hobbit.
Okay.
He just gains it again in this one. +2!
So that means he doesn't naturally have Hatred Hobbit.
He does though.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm guessing the typo is him having it naturally, and it should be an army thing. So that means he's even worse normally.
But you could only take it in this list, so it's dumb either way.
Yeah. Does he have Hatred 2 Hobbit? And then,
damn it, GW, read your things.
Friendly ruffian models gain a bonus of +1 to hit when making shooting attacks with a whip. I think there's just not a lot we can really say about these.
Viewers, I challenge someone to win a tournament with that list, or the Shire list. It's been stated in the comments that it's doable, and I want to see it.
I think the targets are win a tournament with the Shire list, win a game with the ruffian list.
Yeah.
But somehow this edition, that becomes top tier. Just nobody plays it, so nobody knows it.
I like being proven wrong. Well, with things like that. Moria. So, obviously this is Durba's Dragon, Durzag, Captains, Cave Drakes, and all the other stuff we covered earlier. Mirkwood hunting spiders. Special rules for this one. We cannot get out. They are coming. Friendly Moria Goblin models engaged in combat with an enemy model that would be considered trapped gain a bonus of +1 to their fight value for the duration of the combat. Skittering Warriors. Friendly Moria... What is wrong today? Moria Goblin models gain the Mountain Dweller rule, and once per game at the start of his activation, Durbers may declare he is using this ability. If he does, he may not move during his activation. However, all friendly Moria Goblin models gain +2 to their move value until the end phase of the turn. Additionally, in the turn which he uses this ability, all models within 6 inches, or Moria Goblin models within 6 inches, automatically pass courage tests when charging a model with terror. That's cool. It kind of reminds me of his pose of the model. So he's kind of standing back and going, go!
I mean,
I'll wait here.
Yeah, for goblins getting an extra 2 inches could be handy at a certain point, but I don't think this is going to overtake Depths of Moria.
No?
I mean, again, we'll get to the end and look at what has been added in where as well.
True. Yeah, I think it depends. If some of those things are added into Depths of Moria, then it probably stays the go-to.
Yeah.
Now, turn the page, because this is the one I'm looking forward to.
Aha!
Dragons of the North.
Okay.
And when we got the leak, or it wasn't a leak, it was posted by GW, but the list of lists that were in this book, just seeing this name of this list excited me.
Yes.
Dragons of the North.
Because it was unexpected. Nobody really had ever mentioned this as a thing. But it's also, I guess, it makes sense that for this list, you have to have at least a dragon. A dragon has to be a general. I think that's a good thing. You don't want Dragons of the North with no dragons. But they're special rules. Now, will this change them? Will this change your mind on them? One of these 3 rules. So, the Dragon's Horde. Each time a friendly model slays an enemy model in combat, they may roll a d6. On a natural 6, they have located some gold upon the body of the fallen and claimed it for themselves. Keep a note of how much gold each model claims in this way. Friendly models gain the following benefits depending on how much gold they've collected. These benefits are cumulative. I can't.
Cumulative.
That does not sound like a word.
Cumulative. That is wrong, isn't it?
I don't know. That's.
Oh my god.
That does not sound like a word.
English is hard to do for some reason.
Yeah, every day. Okay, so if you have gained 1 gold, the model may restart. The model may re-roll a single to wound roll when making strikes. That's good. As soon as you kill 1 model, you can then re-roll a single failed to wound roll. I think that's
like just once, or
once a.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's just after 1.
This is exciting me now.
Then once you've got 2 to 3 gold, the model may re-roll a single d6 during a duel roll.
Oh, so it's basically a free banner.
And they stack, so you can do both.
Oh my god.
Then 4 to 5 gold, the model gains Fearless.
Oh, sheeps.
And then, so wait, would Fearless get rid of the dragon one?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. It must do, right?
I need
You
to
automatically pass courage tests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as the wording doesn't.
You keep going, I'll check.
Yeah. And then once you've got 6 or more gold, at the end of the game, their controlling player will gain an additional 1 VP.
Ooh.
But this can never take you above 20.
Okay.
But I think that is great, especially when you get that 4 to 5 with Fearless.
Yeah.
You feel like you should be able to kill enough and pass enough courage tests by the time you get to 4 to 5 kills, especially if you've got something like Breathe Fire.
Yes.
So, but that's not all. There's 2 other special rules as well.
Ooh.
Beast of Legend. The dragon that is your general may select 3 options rather than 2.
Oh.
So for a 500 point game, you could have a dragon with 3 and a cave drake as a 500 point one.
Oh, so dragons you can only take 2?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Up to 2.
Oh, right.
So your general can actually take 3.
Right.
Then Supreme Jealousy. Each dragon in your army must have a different combination of options. Dragons that have no options do not count for the purpose of this special rule. So you couldn't just take 2, both with Breathe, Fire, and Fly. They have to have a different combination, but they can overlap one of the 2. Which, yeah, I like it. Did you check? Was it?
Yeah, they automatically pass any courage test they're required to take.
Yeah.
So, yeah, gaining 4 or 5 gold makes dragons insane.
Yeah, so basically fly up to them, breathe some fire on some weak people, kill a few. I know it's way easier said than done, but I definitely think there's a position where that's viable.
It's rolling a natural 6 though, you know?
Yes, I suppose there is that. Yeah. Natural 6s.
And we know how 6s go. Sometimes
It's fine.
They'd be elusive.
I just killed 5 things. What's going to happen? Oh, I didn't.
What? Don't look at that roll on the Baron
Oh, no.
of Dice, TTA Dice.
Oh, no.
Oh no, what's going on? There we go.
Okay, I killed 20 and I finally got a piece of gold. Damn it. Okay, yeah.
TTA Dice.
I changed my mind. I don't like the roll anymore. Yeah, maybe natural 6 is a bit harsh.
Yeah, I feel like it should be a 4+.
Yeah.
Because you're never killing 6
Yeah.
things and getting 6 natural 6s after.
Yeah, I got too excited too fast. I just wanted dragons to be good.
I'm still going to try them.
Still trying.
Maybe not
but
in a tournament, but on the channel.
Yeah, 4 natural 6s from a kill. Yeah, no, it's not going to happen.
No.
God damn it. My
Although,
excitement's...
I'm excited for cave drakes, and you can take cave drakes with Moria. So I might take a list that's Durbers and loads of cave drakes.
Give it a go. Well, no, they've got to go with, what's his name? Druzhags.
Oh, do they?
All beasts have to go with Druzhag.
Oh, okay.
So,
Fine by me.
okay, next we have Host of the Witch King. Although this was
is-
Angmar.
Yep.
So we will scooze the arm past.
Shadows of Angmar, also.
Scooge past.
Birders Horde, also old.
Scooge past.
Wolfpack of Angmar.
Scooge past.
Army of Khan Doom.
Wait, have we got any more?
Yeah,
Oh, the Easterlings.
Easterlings.
Of course we do. Wait, how many more have we got then? 3?
3, maybe 4.
Oh, 4, 5.
4, 5.
4, 5.
4, 5.
Off you go.
So obviously this can include. Wait, what? You can't include. Oh no, there's 2 Easterling lists, isn't there? So this
Yeah.
one is the one that can include Amda, the Captains, the Cataphracts, the Dragon Knights, so on and so forth. Special rules for this army then are friendly Easterling models gain +1 to any courage test they're required to take when the army is broken. Additionally, in scenarios in which the game ends when a dice is rolled, you can choose to re-roll the dice if you don't want the scenario to end, which is really, really handy. Also, whilst the enemy army is broken, friendly Easterling hero models gain Fearless. And finally, friendly models gain the Ancient Enemies Gondor special rule.
Okay.
Yeah, again, this is the list that I've recently ran on the channel.
Yes.
So this is not like a reaction. I know how this works. I know how it plays, how it feels. Don't want to spoil too much. Check out the battle report to see how it functions. On
I will
Friday.
say, I like the look of it.
I do. Easterlings really appeal to me in this edition. Yeah.
Okay. So with that, Host of the Dragon Emperor, the assumed better of the Easterling lists because it has the Dragon Emperor. Supposed. But the Dragon Emperor is just insane. So obviously he has to be taken in this list as your general. But as well as that, friendly Easterling hero models may reroll a single d6 in a dual roll.
It's really good.
That is very good. And friendly models supported by 2 other friendly models gain +1 to wound when making strikes.
Oh yeah, because they've got the pike things. Yeah.
Well,
that is-
but the pike things are 2-handed or pikes.
True.
So if you're supported by 2 other friendly models, you would already be getting +1 on your wound because you're 2-handed. So one of them? No, because you could... Yeah, how does that work then?
They don't stack. So.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So wouldn't you be getting it anyway because you're 2-handed? Unless you use it as the pike, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that almost feels a bit like, is that as...
Well,
Does
that only comes into play if it's... I forgot what they're called.
Phalanxes.
Phalanxes. That only comes into play if that's in base-to-base contact and is supported by another 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be rare, I imagine.
Yeah, maybe like a turn 1 combat kind of thing, like the first turn of combat. But yeah. I think it kind of shows that how good the Dragon Emperor is that they don't have that many special rolls.
Yeah, I really want to... I wish we had more Easterlings, so we could do the Easterlings versus the Host of the Dragon Emperor to find out which one is better.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
The Serpent Horde.
Okay.
So this is one that gives you access to Suladan, Raza, Haradrim Chieftain, Taskmaster, War Mumuk, and then Haradrim Warriors and Serpent Garden Riders. Special rules. The Scorpion Sting. Friendly models with the poison attacks bow special rule. Exchange it for the poison attacks on all of their weapons. I like poison weapons in this game. Suladan's Bodyguard. So long as Suladan has will points remaining, friendly elite models gain the Swarm Protector Suladan special rule. And Lethal Toxins. Once per game at the start of any fight phase, Suladan can use this special rule so long as he is alive and on the battlefield. If he does, then friendly Harrod models gain the Bane of Kings special rule until the end of the phase of the turn. This is treated as an active ability belonging to Suladan.
Yeah. It is interesting. I mean, yeah, you could take Mumux in this as well. So you get a hero as good as Suladan and put in Mumux with that.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost a distraction. So you know what I mean? Like, so the Mumux can do a bit more, maybe.
Yeah.
It's helping. It's, again, Haradrim is not something we've done an awful lot with in time. We don't particularly have the strongest opinions on Mumux.
I mean, we did lose to them.
We somehow.
But we did in the same tournament witness a Morgul Blade take down a Mumakil in one turn. So.
Yeah. Which also happened at our tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the thing. Yeah, I think they're fun, but I would probably want to be trying Haradrim without Mumux.
Yeah, same.
So whether Serpent Horde is the best one, or whether you would be going for more like the Grand Army, which we will get to afterwards.
Yes, I'm quite excited to look at that. Actually.
Yeah. So let's continue on. Oh, the only thing with Serpent Horde is you get 50% bows as well.
Ooh.
Which, especially if you don't even take that on a Mumuk, that could be... Because a lot of time you just pack out the Howdar.
They just don't have very great shooting. So.
No, but poison. So
true.
It's they're still not great, but they're slightly better than like Minas Tirith.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this penultimate list?
Yes,
it is.
It is.
Go
Umbar.
Go for it.
Cool. So Umbar must contain at least one Hasharin.
One of them.
One of those things. Their special rules are, if during the end phase of any turn, your general has only a single wound remaining and is within 3 inches and line of sight of a friendly Hasharin, you may choose to remove your general as a casualty. If you do, you may immediately choose another friendly hero to be your new general. This must still be a hero with the highest heroic tier remaining. The previous model loses the general keyword and no longer counts as the general in the purpose of special rules or victory points. If a Hasharin is your general, they cannot use the special rule to kill themselves. A different Hasharin would have to be within 3 inches to use this special rule. That is really cool. We'll come back to that in a second. Just for the other ones, friendly models gain the Stalk Unseen special rule, and friendly models gain the Hatred Gondor special rule.
I mean, the Seize Command rule is... I like it because it's different.
Yes.
And it's quite fun and thematic and... Yeah, but I don't...
How specific does that situation have to be, though? That's the thing. Because when this was like first leaked, there was memes everywhere of like this kind of thing of you could just, kill your general all the time and take it up. And it's such a certain set of circumstances to make it happen. I just don't really see it happening that often at all.
No, neither do I.
Yeah.
But...
It's fun. It's something you got to think about.
It is fun, yeah.
Yeah, like if you concentrate so hard on the enemy general to kill him, you're like, yes, I'm finally getting him down. And then they're like, aha, stab, kill, full health over there.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, I've lost the victory points.
Yeah.
Could lose you a game.
Yeah, and I'd love to see it. It's very cool. It's one of those lists I could probably see doing okay. It's going to be quite a high skill army, I reckon. But yeah, I like Umbar.
Yeah, cool. And it's an interesting combination because it's obviously Umbar, Haradrim, and Black Numenorians. So yeah, there is a bit of variety in there.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're going, oh, you can only have Corsairs and nothing else. There is a bit of difference.
And I think aesthetically, visually, they look quite cool together.
Yeah, like if you've got a front line of Black Numenorians who are causing terror with a back line of crossbows, then there are times that's going to do very, very well.
Yeah. Final list then is Grand Army of the South, which is essentially your...
Would you like to list every model that's available?
No. So this is like our compilation list where you get to take everything from the South.
Yeah.
Mordor has one. The good guys have one. The elves have one?
No.
Neither do dwarves.
No.
That's racist. So, yeah, you've basically got a mix of everything from Haradrim's lists and Easterling lists. Very few special rules, because I guess you've got a lot of variety. You're given too many special rules and it's going to be abused.
Yep.
So special rules are Pride of the Southlands. Friendly models gain +1 to any courage test they're required to take. That's it. So, yeah, it appeals to me in terms of variety and aesthetics, but maybe not the greatest list in the world. Not the coolest special rule, anyway.
No, and it's the usual things of like Corsairs have to go with Corsairs, Haradrim
Yeah.
with Haradrim. Like you can't mix and match. So you can't take like Suladan and then take a load of Corsairs with him. But that's kind of expected. I still think this is a very fun way to do it. And this is just their way of going, look, you can still put stuff together. You don't need an alliance matrix anymore.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of fair reasons when it will be run. But yeah, it is what it is. It does what it says on the tin.
I'm just looking at the Legions of Middle-earth at the end here to see
Yes.
what's been added.
Go on, let's have a look.
Nothing like Corsair Crossbowmen have been added to the Corsair Fleets list. Isengard Trolls have been added to everything, so have Shamans. Black Numenorians have been added to Barad-dûr and Legions of Mordor.
Yep.
That's kind of the main things, really.
Yeah, it's not...
The Easterling things have been added to Legions of Mordor as well. But
Yeah.
like Cave Drakes and stuff haven't been added to Depths of Moria, which is kind of what I was looking for there.
Yeah, it's just the... I mean, the Prowlers have been added
Yeah.
for something, and Shaman, but yeah. Oh, I love that Barad-dûr.
Yeah, it's great. Right. Armies of Middle-earth book. Done it, mate.
Completed it.
So, we did this with the good lists.
Yep.
What are your 3 lists that you are most excited to play?
Oh, okay, that's... oh, God, I forgot
Is
them
that the
all.
question we asked last time?
Yeah, I think we're talking about, which ones do we want to do the most? And I'm not going to lie, I've generally had a second mind blank. I mean, some of the combination ones are just the obvious ones because it means you can take a bit of everything. I'm going to have to say dragons because it's dragons.
Yeah.
Along with them, maybe, I don't know, I used to have I found Easterlings so appealing. I just don't really feel that anymore.
Is it gone?
It has a bit, and I don't know why. Honestly, Umbar appeals to me.
Yeah.
I maybe go dragons and Umbar from the evil side, but I do feel like at this moment I'm just a little more inclined to the good armies.
Same as me, to be honest. I'm going to cheat with my answer, assuming you want to know my answer.
Nah.
Dragons is mine,
Yeah.
just because it's fun and different.
Yes.
I don't have much of a, like a fascination with other monsterish armies. Like eagles, ents, trolls don't really appeal to me. Dragons, I'm in.
Yeah.
So that, and I'm going to say Moria.
Okay.
Watcher in the Water is also available for Moria, by the way, which we didn't talk about. Mainly because I can spam Cave Drakes.
I mean, spamming them at 150 points. I don't know how spammy that really is, but yeah.
I'm exclusively playing 1,000 points from now on.
I mean, another army I have said I did want to try was a lot of werewolves.
That was about to be mine.
So
thanks for ruining my thing. Thanks.
I will continue to ruin it. With, saying Wolfpack of Angmar, you want to spam your Cave Drakes? I spam werewolves.
Yeah.
Let's see which comes out on top.
Yeah. Yeah.
Werewolves.
Yeah, werewolves are very cool, very appealing. But I think that would be mine. Dragons, Moria, and werewolves. Even though it's not a list that's new to this book because we had it in the Angmar PDF.
That's kind of why. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
It's a cool book. When we get the 4th one.
Yeah, where's the Legacies PDF? God damn it!
People have actually been saying that. And I assume it is just going to drop on release day of this.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've only got a few more days to wait now for release day.
Maybe a day. Maybe it's already out. Who knows? Because we still don't know when this video is going out.
That'll be out today or tomorrow. But yeah, I'm satisfied and I'm excited for the next few years of MESBG now that we have all the armies available. I did see the GBHL are doing their own FAQ for when the Legacies PDF drops.
Yes.
So I don't know whether that means there's going to be an exclusive GBHL ruling for Legacies profiles. It's an interesting question.
Until the PDF is out, we don't know exactly how it's going to look.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I personally think as long as the Legacies profiles aren't like overpowered, tournaments should still allow them.
If anything, they might be... And it depends if they've really been looked at or if they've just gone, no, this was the profile, just here you go. You know what I mean?
How is it going to work with lists? Because they're releasing, I'm assuming, the profiles.
Yeah.
But are they going, you can run them in these lists?
Or are they saying, like, that's what GBHL will do? They'll go, okay, these are the lists, you put these in these, you can do this and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, until it's out, it's hard to judge.
It is. All right, I guess we leave it there, my friends. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, let us know in the comments down below what armies you're most looking forward to. Are there any you're disappointed in? Are there some letdowns, some surprise lists? Be sure to let us know.
Yeah, let us know everything we missed, because that happens.
Yeah, and tell us that we're rubbish for not knowing the profiles, even though we've only just seen them. Oh, YouTube. Anyway, final thing, reminder, TTA Dice. I think the code is TT Alliance, maybe?
I know, you've changed these.
Yeah, I think it's TT Alliance. I'm going to go with that.
Just type loads of codes in and see what works.
In the description, that's all best I can say. If you want more of us rambling a bunch of nonsense about Middle-earth strategy battle game, Warhammer, and tabletop games in general, check out our Patreon for exclusive content, including our exclusive weekly podcast, which is, yeah, I feel like it's gone down well, the podcast.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time on the Tabletop Alliance.
Bye, guys.